don't write my recitations. I do write some poetry, but I think I have about two that I wrote myself that are more like recitations, so I read them sometimes, but not tonight. I'm going to start off. Oh, I should tell you first, I promised someone I'd do this, that, you know, as most of you know, I'm a writer, and have been for a long time, and we do a lot of readings, and of course, when you can't see, you can't read. I can't read books for myself, and I was a bookworm all my life. So I have to give up readings, although some people, one of whom will be unnamed, think that you can't manage it when you can't read yourself. But Jean Little, who's been blind from birth, and has written many novels, including an autobiography called Little by Little, she reads all the time. She doesn't read. She tells about the story. She talks. Someone else reads. Then she talks again. You know, and does very well. But they don't seem to know that around here, because when you can't read yourself, you don't get asked anymore. So I decided even before that, when my eyes started to go, that I would revive the reciting I used to do as a youngster. First one when I was 3 years old, up on the chair at the basement of Wesley Church. And I did it all through my childhood and early teens, and then I thought it wasn't the thing to do. It wasn't very smart to do. You know, it wasn't very cool, as they say now. So I gave it up. But my Aunt Violet Osmond, she always recited, and I got some old recitations from her, and usually funny ones. They were her specialty. And the Old Woman's Complaint, that's one I learned from her. But so now I usually do ones that I've learned, and so the first one I'll do tonight will be, you will have heard it before in a different form. You will have heard it in a song. I can't sing, and so I have to recite it. It's a song written by Tom Cal, who some of you might remember, a very clever writer who worked with CBC for years as a producer, and he wrote a wonderful play. Now, I remembered the name last night, Where Once They Stood, I think it was called. It was about Confederation. Wonderful play. And and he could be very funny. So he got to know Joan Morrissey. And of course, she was a fantastic singer. She didn't write, she wrote, I think, a few of her own songs. So they ended up, there was something every year, I think it's still on in another form, in the early winter. They have on stage, what did they call it? The Review, I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah, and Tom started writing for that, and then Joan would appear as the singer, and she was a very funny person, besides being a very good singer, very, very natural personality. She was a friend of mine. She lived in Mount Pearl. And Bob Lewis used to be on the radio, CJON, years ago, and he said one time that the first time I heard her sing in person was in Mount Pearl when I lived there, at a concert by the CLB band, and their special guest was Joan Morrissey. And Bob Lewis, CJON, Clarence Engelbrecht, who came here with the Americans and stayed, he introduced Joan, and he said, if this young woman had taken my advice, she wouldn't be here tonight. She'd be in the United States, and she'd be a star. And I believe that, but anyhow, I'm glad she stayed here. So anyhow, this is the one that he wrote and she sang. It's called The CN Bus.
Oh yeah.
It was a cold winter's night, not a star was in sight, as we rolled down the road to Brandon West on a CNR bus that had caused such a fuss by replacing the Newfoundland Express. In a seat in the rear sat a man who was there to see how long it would take to make the dash. Old Macmillan, 'tis said, a promotion would get if his bus could save our railway cash. In a seat just ahead sat a lady in red, Maggie Hawkins from Upper Gully's Track. She weighed 23 stone and the bus gave a groan when she stood up and started for the back. It was Maggie's intent, as the floorboard she bent, to enter the powder room in back. It was a small 2x4 with a hatch for a door, situated beneath the luggage rack. All the crowd gave her roar as she opened the door, and poor Maggie, to force herself she tried. But alas, she got stuck like a long-dragon's truck. It was plain that she would never get inside. She went back to her seat, breathing sweat in the heat, saying, "Oh, how I miss the good old train. And if this thing doesn't park until way after dark, my poor kidneys will never stand the strain." Said a man turning pale, "She's been drinking ale. Give her first aid, this surely is a crime." But old Macmillan jumped out in the aisle and did shout, "Keep her moving, we're making record time." For an hour they drove, till outside Arnold's Cove. Old Meg got up and started for the door. But with his stopwatch in his hand, Gordy Macmillan took his stand, told the driver to put her to the floor. With a final last shriek, Maggie tucked in her cheek, and with a great burst of fire and of steam, and a thunderous roar that shook the valley and the shore, and the bus flew apart beside a stream. There were 23 maimed when the rescue squad came. Not a sight of old Maggie could be seen. Old Macmillan went blind. One poor man lost his mind, and the driver woke up in Lamleen. On the crest of a hill, just outside Clarendale, lies a tombstone to mark Meg's last remains. May her soul ever fly to that great bathroom in the sky, for she's the lady that gave us back our trains. I wish they were there. Now the other one is a serious one that I learned in school. It seems to me I learned it in grade 5, but I can't believe that we were learning a poem like this in grade 5, but I think that was when. And it's called Lady Clare. It was the time when lilies blow and clouds are highest up in air. Lord Ronald brought a lily white doe to give his cousin, Lady Clare. I trow they did not part in scorn. Lovers long betrothed were they. They too will wed the morrow morn. God's blessings on the day. He does not love me for my birth, or for my land so broad and fair. He loves me for my own true worth, and that is well, said Lady Clare. In there came old Alice the nurse, said, who is this that went from thee? It was my cousin, said Lady Clare. Tomorrow he weds with me. Oh, God be thanked, said Alice the nurse, that all comes round so just and fair. Lord Ronald is heir to all your lands, and you are not the Lady Clare. Are you out of your mind, my nurse, my nurse? Are you out of your mind that you speak so wild? As God's above, said Alice the nurse, I speak the truth. You are my child. The old Earl's daughter died at my breast. I speak the truth as I live by bread. I buried her like my own sweet child and put my child in her stead. Oh, falsely, falsely have you done. Oh, mother, she said, if this be true, to keep the best man under the sun so many years from his due. Nay, no, my child, said Alice the nurse, but keep the secret all your life, and all you have will be Lord Ronald's when you are man and wife. If I'm a beggar born, she said, I will speak out, for I dare not lie. Pull off the brooch of gold, and fling the diamond necklace by. Nay now, my child, said Alice the nurse, but keep the secret all you can. She said, not so, but I will know if there be any faith in man. Nay now, what faith, said Alice the nurse. The man will cleave into his right, and he shall have it, the lady replied, though I should die tonight. Yet give one kiss to your mother, dear. Alas, my child, I sinned for thee. Oh, mother, 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 she said. So strange it seems to me. But here's a kiss for my mother dear. My mother dear, if this be so. Come lay your hand upon my head, and bless me, mother, ere I go. The snow-white doe Lord Ronald had brought looked up from where she lay. She dropped her head in the maiden's hand, and followed her all the way. She clad herself in a russet gown. She was no longer Lady Clare. She went by dale and she went by down, with a single rose in her hair. Up stepped Lord Ronald from his tower, down stepped Lord Ronald from his tower. Said, Lady Clare, you shame your worth. Why come you dressed like a village maid, that are the flower of the earth? If I come dressed like a village maid, I am but as my fortunes are. I am a beggar born, said she, and not the Lady Clare. Play me no tricks, said Lord Ronald, for I am yours in word and deed. Play me no tricks, said Lord Ronald, your riddle is hard to read. Oh, and proudly stood she up, her heart within her did not fail. She looked into Lord Ronald's eyes, and told him all her nurse's tale. He laughed a laugh of merry scorn. He turned and kissed her where she stood. If you were not the heiress born, and I, said he, the next in blood, if you were not the heiress born, and I, said he, the lawful heir, we two will wed tomorrow morn, and you shall still be Lady Clare. That was written by Alfred Lord Tennyson.